Hi everyone, welcome to Elementary Math with Mr. Scott, and today we're going to be starting off with place values. So let's go ahead and jump into what we're doing today. So we're going to be doing place value, and again, before we get started, we do need to know a few things. First of all, we need to know what that thing is right there. And some kids will say, well, that's a period or that's a dot. Actually, it is referred to in a math term, and again, these are good math vocabulary, is called a decimal point, okay? And a decimal point is what separates whole numbers from numbers, well, let's put it this way, numbers that are one and more or less than one, right? So that's kind of what we're looking at, and when we use a decimal point, we usually say that the word is and we'll talk about that a little later. But right now, I just wanted to put that up there so that you kind of understood what that dot is. Now, I'm going to go ahead and turn my page. Again, it'd be great if you took notes, because the more that you see it, say it, hear it, write it, the better you are at remembering it. Studies have shown, and research on memory in the brain have shown, that the more things that you can do, it will help you to remember this. So if you're struggling with this, the more times that you write it down, acknowledge it, talk about it, hear it, see it, the better you are at remembering. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn my page, because we're going to go ahead and start putting in our decimal places, or our place value, if you want to call it that. At this point, our first place is the ones place, okay? And again, that's pretty self-explanatory. Then we have the tens place. Okay, I'm going to move that down. And then we have what's called the hundreds place. Okay. Now, these are the places in terms of a number, right? So if I flip this back around and we talk about this and I show you a number, let's say 378, right? So what we're seeing here is the 3, okay? I'm going to put a space between these just to kind of even them out so you can kind of see. 378 matches up with the hundreds. The 7's in the 10 spot matches up with the 10s. And the 8 matches up with the 1s, okay? So that's what we're looking at here. Now this group here, if you want to call it that, is called, let's go ahead and put that up there, it's called a period, right? And every 3 numbers is a period. In this case, because ones is the one being done here, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to highlight this, and I'm going to make this a bold. This is the ones period, okay? And that's what we really need to understand, that that's the period. Those 3 numbers are considered the ones period. All right, so let's go ahead and keep moving on here. So we have the hundreds period, then comes the thousands, right? Okay, so we're starting our next period here, and we'll talk about that in a second. Then we have 10,000. And finally, we'll end up here with 100,000. Okay, and so that is basically where we're at in terms of our next period, okay? And in the elementary, this is kind of where we refer to, we don't go too much higher in this, maybe in the higher grades, depending upon what you consider elementary. Again, this is where we would put our comma. And that comma means the word thousand. So here's our next period. So our next period is going to run from here to here. And again, we're going to call that period. I'm going to go ahead and highlight this again. That's going to be highlighted. Oops, I lost my highlighter. Okay, that's going to be called the thousands period. So I'm putting in bold here the thousands period. Okay, and then every three numbers, and again, most kids don't know this, but every three numbers is actually a new period. That's why we put a new comma in there. And let's just go ahead and go one more period. This may be above you, but that's okay. We'll put it in there anyway. Million, if you see the progression here. 10 million. Oops. Okay. And then, of course, if you can guess, what do you think the next one's going to be? It's going to be 100 million. And we're going to put that one in there as well. Again, that is a new period. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and put our period here to here. And can you guess what period that's going to be? Yeah, you are correct. It's going to be the millions period. So you can see in bold here the periods. Now, when you say a number, okay, so let's go ahead and add some more numbers in here. So let's go 5, 7, 8, and then a comma, and then let's go 2, 7, 1, and then we already got some there. So let's go ahead and just kind of spread these out. We'll put some spaces in here so you can kind of see how this process works. There's my comma, there's my hundreds, there's my 10,000s, and here is my 1,000, and then of course we already have our hundreds here. So let's go ahead and act like we're going to be saying this number, right? So when we say a number like this, we don't say millions, thousands until we get to a comma. Okay, and as you can see, there's a comma here after the 8 and the comma after the 1. So in this case, I'm gonna go ahead and move me up here a little bit. We would say this number again. We're looking at chunks here of 3. So we have this chunk, we have this chunk or period, and this one. So is it okay to say 100? Sure, because we got 100, 100, and 100. So we can say hundreds, okay? But we're not going to be saying the rest. So in this case, we would say 578, and then we come to this comma. So here's my period, 578 million. 200, again, we're back in the hundreds again. There's the 3 digits. 271, and there's my comma. Thousands, 378. So that's how you would say that. Now, the thing that we can't do is say and, right? And that's, I know it's real common for kids to want to do that, like 378,000 and, no. And is used for the decimal point. And we'll get to that when we start talking about what's on the other side of the place value. But for right now, this is how we say this. 578,271,000. I think I said that wrong. 578,271,000. There's my comma. 378. Again, I didn't say any ands in there. So that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're looking for here. Understanding the periods, okay, and understanding the place value and being able to say them and say them correctly, okay. On the next video, we'll take a look at what's on the other side of the decimal point. I hope this has helped. I hope this makes you stronger in math and gives you more confidence. Have a great day. Make sure that you go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell so that you get updates on when I'm teaching new videos for you to help you in your elementary math. Have a great day.